The following video contains language that may be inappropriate for young viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Welcome to Behind the Bars, where we bring the unseen and the unheard stories from the depths of the prison system to the forefront. I'm your host, Jason Boss, and together we'll explore the madness, the chaos, and the harsh realities hidden behind the steel doors of prisons worldwide. From the local jailhouse to death row across the world, we'll show you the isolation, the seclusion, and the decades spent enduring unimaginable conditions. These are the stories of survival, struggle, and humanity in places most of us will never see. We're here to shine a light on what society often forgets, the voices of the incarcerated. Each story is real, each voice is authentic, and every moment reveals the raw, unfiltered truth of life behind the bars. Join me for a journey like no other, a journey into the darkness, the truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is Behind the Bars, real life, real stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I have with me a very good friend of mine, a brother who has done a lot of time in the Texas prison system. He's a brother that has been afflicted by the hands of the people inside the system, and I have an incredible story that I've been trying to get out for a very, very long time. And so, guys, with me, I have my brother, Rueben Reed Jr. is how it comes up in the Securus. He goes by JR. He also goes by Gladiator is what his street name is. Brother, what do I call you? What's the best? How do we be known as brothers there?
Family and friends call me Junior Reed, man.
Junior Reed. All right. Awesome. And I can't thank you enough, my brother, for coming on this podcast so that we can get a little bit of insight into the world that you are in. Now, I want to touch on an incident. I want to go back because I want to make sure I can capture this on audio and get this down. But I don't want to hear anything else other than about the incident and the dates that led up to the 19 police officers that ended up jumping you, putting you on life support. And can you break the story down for me a little bit so that we can at least get this on audio? All right, so let's talk real quickly about the day that you were jumped by the police officers and the guards and that incident and the dates on that and where you were. Can you tell me about the situation, please?
Yeah, it was around, I'd say, the 1st of September 2021. I was on the Michaels unit here at TDC, and I was G5 at the time. G5 is like SEG. We call it being segged up with a celly. But because of my past, I didn't have a celly. You know, I was a bit of a violent offender over the past few years, so having a celly just didn't sit well with me because I always stayed into it for different reasons, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was G5, which was my custody level. And over the years, I had been into it with officers. Which is crazy because I used to be in cahoots with the officers. It's what we call the game down here at TDC, where you break on an officer and they bring you all kinds of different contraband and stuff like that. So for a whole minute, I was in cahoots with the officer. Mm-hmm. And then a series of events happened in my life where, like, my wife divorced me, took the kid. My mom died, which was really tragic for me dying because me and my mom, we were close, but at the same time, we wasn't. And one of her things in life was for me to never go to the penitentiary. She never wanted me to be in a position where she couldn't put her hands on me or reach me. Mm-hmm. In other words. So when she died, I lost a lot of the contraband that I was supposed to be selling. I started ingesting, and I really lost my mind. I mean, like 1 month, I spent $5,000 on just drugs to use, and that's crazy in the penitentiary. So, you know, down here, $5,000. Look, put it like this: $10 in here is like $100 in the world. So you can do the math on that.
So what drugs were they doing? What was that $5,000 worth? What'd you do?
We in here, the main gas is K2.
Oh, K2.
The synthetic. Yeah, K2 started out as a synthetic marijuana, but now it's taking a life of its own. Sometimes it's PCP, form of synthetic heroin or opiate. It's taking on a life of its own. It's no longer just a synthetic marijuana. A lot of times you don't know what to get. Like at one time we used to get it here, it was in a green leaf form, but now, and I can tell this because it's no secret and everybody knows it. Now they have the director of TDC has videos and everything trying to stop it coming into the prison system. They left the papers with it now. So now you got people smoking paper laced with all kinds of chemicals. You never know what you get now.
Okay, I got it. So somehow they synthesized some of this K2 stuff and just laced it up like they did with sheets of acid back in the days. Is that what it is?
Correct. Okay. Correct. Exactly how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay.
So that's it.
So you were getting buck wild. I mean, $5,000. I mean, you were just lit up. What? And again, the date on this. What year were we in?
Well, this all started in 2018.
Okay. Okay, 2018.
That's the year my mom passed.
And this was when you were in prison. And what was the name of the unit again? This all started when I was on the Beto unit, the George Beto unit. George B.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah, Gladiator form. It's a gang disciplinary unit.
Now, how long have you been in prison? When did you start this bid that you're in right now?
2014.
Okay.
I got arrested one morning, and I haven't been home since.
Okay, so 2014 and 2015, you found out your mom died, and
no, that was 2018.
No, 2000.
When my mom died.
Gotcha. Okay, 2018. Okay, so you had been in there for a bit, a few years, and you had been hustling, and you were, I mean, you must have had it must have been a fairly large stash. I mean, $5,000 of this stuff. I mean, what are we talking about? How big would that be? And don't say anything that will incriminate you at all. Anything that don't, you know what I'm saying, right?
Oh, well, it's no surprise anymore. I mean, I'm talking about they got a whole thing going where they're trying to shut this thing down. But what you're asking me is called the drop. Like what kind of drops do I get?
Right.
Drop is certain ways you get the drop. The officer can bring it in. Sometimes it is visitation, and then for a whole minute, people getting it through the mail. So they cracked down on all three phases of the game.
How much weight is that? $5,000 worth of K2 in the joint.
Oh, see, the $5,000 is just something that I was smoking. The drops, you make way more off drop. Like, how you pay the officer at one point in time $1,000 to $1,500 to drop. You might get in $10,000 to $15,000 worth of contraband.
Wow. So let's get into the incident that led you hospitalized. So take me from you went out of control a bit.
Okay. So one day in 2021, around the 1st of September 2021, started out a regular day as usual. I'm in my cell. I had been into it with the officers and different gangs and stuff like that. Cause at that point, I was just renegade. I was on I once was a Hoover Crip, and we have a thing called ABK, EBK. That's anybody killer, everybody killer. So we went to the Crips, Bloods, anybody could get it. So I was in that mentality at that point in time. So I'm into my neighbors, the officers, me against the world mentality. And I had into the officers. On sheep out over there, especially the Nigerians, Africans, who they bring over to work visas, like they work for the white folks. Now, that's pretty bad. So, policy, if we enroll my door, they have to get to the back of the city on my knees, or face down, and then they come in and shackle me up and escort me out and stuff. Well, they had mentioned that they were going to get at me, so I've been prepared for it. I've been waiting on it to come. So one day, the door just rose, I'm sitting there and the front row was, well, normally that means they're coming in, especially if they violate their own policy of making me get the back of the cell on my face and stuff like that. And when it's on, they get squads coming or what they call a 5-man team, where they suit up armor and shields, helmets, gas masks, and all that. And they come in and they mean business. They got the tons and all that.
Okay, so the last thing I caught is these guys are serious, man. They're coming in with their bats or wands, and they're coming for business.
Yeah, they suit it up and they suit it up. And the best thing to do in that situation, when that door rolls, you got to come up out of there because the jail is not that big, even though this is a modern prison, California style, as we call it. It's not that big for 60 to big. And so the best thing for an inmate to is come out of there. So score a touchdown, as we say, try to make it to the table. So the door rolls and I come out. And when I come out, there's nobody anywhere. It's like the door I guess they accidentally roll the door in the pig or something. Door rolls and I come out. And when I make it out, I get to the day room and I lay it down. Lay it down is where you sit down on the ground, lay down on the ground somewhere you're not opposed to threat. If you're standing up and they surround you or come at you, it's a threat. So then they can do to you what they want. But these guys, there's nobody inside the table when I lay it down, I sit down on the ground. And so they come to me and Reed, go back in the house. Get back in the house. And I'm like, nah, I'm going back in the house. I need medical attention. I need to go see the doctor. At this point in time, I'm tripping. I really, want to go see a doctor or somebody for my mental state because of what I'm going through with these guys. Like some days they don't feed me. Like one time I went 2 weeks without eating. I just ate once, then into the office and stuff like that. And so I'm going crazy, man. I'm going crazy. And when I do eat, I'm scared to eat because, they tell you put something in your food and they do this stuff like grind of glass or urine.
Okay, I got the last. Yeah, last part was talking about grinding of glass, urine, things of that nature. And I've heard this before, dude. You're absolutely not the first person who said this.
Yeah, this is how they get at you. Like the whole thing is to make you go crazy. They want you to catch out. They want you to go on CDO, they call it. So the self-harm, it's blood that comes up. You go to CDO, or you threaten to hurt yourself, then they come in and do it. And part of that come up is to say that you hurt yourself, that you try to hang yourself or ingested something, kill yourself. It's part of that come up thing. So I go to the day room and I lay it down and I'm like, hey man, I need medical attention. I want to talk to Saeed, I want to talk to the doctor, but my mental health ain't good right now. But they got this, how to help. And one of the things they do was get me off the floor. As I stated earlier, once you're standing, you're a threat. Once you're on the ground, you are not supposed to protect. So these guys, they lift me up. They pick me up off the ground and chaos ensues. And so now we rumbling. I'm in handcuffs. I'm cuffed behind my back. They lift me up. And what they're trying to take me is a cage where they have, let me see, there's a bed in the hallway or in front of the building. Well, it's really like a sergeant's desk. And in front of the sergeant's desk is a couple of cages where the inmates are like CDO for suicide watch. So when you heard them come in or if you creating a disturbance, so they can sit there and watch you. And people been known to be in these cages for days. I'm talking about they're real small. You better got another room to turn around and so they want to take you and leave you in there for days, shoot you full of gas, starve you out, all that type of stuff. So when they lift me up, that's what they got to do. I start resisting. And the handcuffs and everything, I was resisting. And that's when they started doing that thing. And I was punched and kicked and slammed on the floor. And I was at least put hands of gas on me. I stopped down after 4 or at 4. So I don't know how many cans of gas they they introduced me to what they call the chemical agent. And at this time, they had introduced to the system the black cans. At first, they had these huge red canisters that they used to gas. And they brought a new gas into the system, a new chemical agent to yeah, they introduced a new chemical agent to the system. It's called the black can. And it's supposed to be less lethal than the red cans. So I was one of the first inmates to get hit with this new chemical agent. And what I found out is I had a bad chemical reaction to it. Even to this day, I have whips and bruises and lesions on my skin.
Hold on.
I had a chemical reaction.
You said you had whips and lesions?
Yeah, I still got a moment to where my skin is keloid up to where I had a chemical reaction.
Okay.
Doctors say, I don't know how true it is. The metal, I had me handcuffed so tight to where it cut into my skin. And when they gassed me with this new chemical, the chemicals got off the side there in my guts and stuff. And it's left real nasty sores and stuff on me.
Now, okay, so I want to run this back. Now, let me see if I have this right. You were in your cell, and they basically popped the door, having you come out to like a day room or something, and then they told you to go back into your cell. At which point you wanted to see medical. They came, and were you handcuffed at the time, or when did you get handcuffs?
Well, yeah, they immediately handcuffed me while I'm on the ground, and they put them on extra tight.
Is that behind your back?
They put them on extra. Yeah, I'm handcuffed behind the back.
Okay, so you're handcuffed behind your back, at which point they were going to lift you up and take you over to this little cage, at which point you decided you were going to fight through that, at which point you started getting kicked, punched, gassed. Is that an accurate description of what you just said?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so how long, what did this gas do to you? Were you choking and coughing? Could you not breathe? Eyes? What happened when they gassed you?
All that. Well, see, like I said, this was a new chemical that introduced this in. Like the old red can, like at one point in time, I could eat that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
About 4, 5, 6 cans, you could take that. And they introduced this new can to the system, saying that it was less lethal, but that's not the case. It's more lethal. It's just when they gas you, it takes your breath. Like your airway starts caving in, starts closing in, and it burns. And if you rub your face or any part of your body, the chemical heat up, makes it worse.
Now, were these guys in the same room as you? Did they have masks on? How did they deal with this same stuff?
Okay, the officers at first, no. They when they first started gassing and stuff like that, the initial first wave of officers out there, they did. But as time went on, as the battle continued, other officers would pull up with the gas mask on. This is how, I told you, it was 20 officers for 4 hours of our use, 4 straight officers. They started coming in waves. Like, when the first wave couldn't get me stuffed into the cage, they sent another wave. These guys come with gas masks and more gas.
And I gotta just say it, dude. I mean, your hands are cuffed behind your back. How were you able to stop this for so long and fight through this? Do you remember this entire battle?
Oh yeah. I learned from the older inmates that's been down here for years that the main thing to work on when you're working out is your core strength and your legs foundation. Like a lot of guys out here, they bad with their feet. Like they don't need their hands to defend themselves or anything like that. So these are the guys that I learned from, having that core strength and being able to use your legs. I don't need my hands and my arms and stuff. And I was pretty decent at this one time. I wasn't. There's some guys out here that are legendary in TDC, using their hands and feet. But, I've been trained by some of these guys, so my core and my foundation, they were pretty good at this time. Because, you locked in cell 24 hours a day. You have nothing to do but work out. That's all there is to do is work out.
Dude, it sounds like
keep your body right.
Gladiator came out. I suppose it's lucky your hands were actually handcuffed. I mean, you might have, taken them all. You might have, this is just insane. Okay, so take me through this again. You're handcuffed, and you think this incident, or the incident went on about 4 hours? Is that what you're saying?
Well, this is what I was told by the OIG, which is the state police, office of the Attorney General, the people who answer directly to Greg Abbott and Paxton down in Austin, Texas, the governor. This is the governor's investigators of state police, or we call it the black shirts here at TDC. I got a lot of this information from them. And it's crazy how it happened. Because the first guy who they sent, his wife or his girlfriend works with DMV, so he wasn't trying to. The first black shirt thing they sent me, he had a wife or girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, who worked for UTMB. This is after everything that happened. I'm on hospice in the hospital and stuff. They sent the investigators to talk to me. The first one, he was a cool guy, but his wife worked for UTMB. UTMB, the medical branch, was on the hook for not sticking to me after the use of force. So he wasn't trying to really just hit me out. But then the next guy who they sent, he pulled up on me. Each time he pulled up on me, I'd be studying the scriptures and stuff like that, doing something spiritual each time he pulled up. And one day, Yahweh just allowed him to find favor in the man. And he was like, I can tell you're a pretty spiritual dude. I was like, yes, sir. He said, I'm pretty sure you were spiritual before this. I was like, yes, sir, I was. He said, but now even more so that you've gone through this. And I was like, yes, sir, that's correct. He said, well, check this out. I'm a spiritual man myself. And I'm going to tell you some things that I'm not supposed to tell you, but I just feel led by the Holy Spirit to do. And this is how the relationship, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. It's just my interaction with this guy. Yahweh allowed me to find favor in him. And he ran me down there. He said, man, I had to come see you for myself. Like, man, do you remember what you were doing? I was like, yeah, everything. He's like, man, did you know you talked to those guys for 4 hours? 20 officers. I did keep counting what it was. I was just from my life. He was running me down to the force. He was like, yeah, man, I had to come see you. He's like on camera. He was a little dude.
Gladiator, man, you're a legend. All right, I need to get back to the rest of the story real quick. You're fighting these guys. How did you end up where you ended up to the point of life support? Can you give me this breakdown of this failure of humane treatment of you?
Okay. Now, this is the story starts to get hazy. I know that I was struggling for like 4 hours, and my heart gave out. My heart gave out. But from all the kicks and stuff like that, I had some head injury.
Okay, I think that he's gone. Okay, so take me back through this real quick. You're fighting, you're karate kicking the dudes. I mean, you're kicking, you're fighting these guys for 4 hours. When does your heart give out? When does this battle end? What happens?
Okay, everybody get me in. And the thing is, once they get you in the holding cage, you understand.
Okay, all right, Holmes. This is like movie play stuff right here. I'm trying to get to the point where you're down for the count. In the 4 hours that you're fighting these guys, how did that end? What did the end look like for as much as you know?
Hey, this story gets a little hazy, but like I was saying, during the use of force, at the end of the use of force,
take advantage of this. Okay, so again, from the use of force, you're sitting there kicking these guys. What happens that you know? Are they coming in? And you say this is secondhand info at this point, right? That somebody's telling you later what really happened.
Yeah, because they're trying to stuff me in the cage, but I got my legs wrapped around the outside of the cage, and I'm in the door, and they can't get me into. But then all of a sudden, I go numb from the waist down, and they in the cage or whatever. I go numb, like my legs in the morning. Outside, he me in the thing. He put some kind of waterboarding thing with, because he put his handcuffs over my face. I'm burning a cupcake and I'm blacking out. So they getting my hand relaxed. I cannot stand up. I'm like, hey, I'm trying. I can't stand up. I can't move. Stand up. I can't. And they keep dumping gas on me. Give me the hamstring. Give me the hamstring. I can't move. I'm trying to get up. And keep in your hand. And I cannot move. And I had to go out after that. I black out. So I come through again.
Well, I need to recap from what I think that I heard. I just want to make sure that this is correct. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. So they somehow at some point picked you up and took you over to the little cage. Hold on 1 sec. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Things stop. It's like Grand Central Station here, dude. It's like I got the serial killer hotline right here, bro. I got serial killers calling in from all over the place. Okay. We're back. Hey man, but everybody, my brother out there, man. I got some weird friends, bro. You know what I mean?
I do. We have the same company.
Yeah, we do.
Same circle, man.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to try to make sure I get the story. There's going to be a lot of editing on this one, but they're pushing you into the cage. At which point, I didn't quite get there. You said something about waterboarding. What exactly was happening at that? Somebody put a rag, a towel. What's over your face?
Yeah, I want to say like it's a pair of dirty boxers, man. It's like a pair of wet, dirty, state-issued boxers that the dude is putting over my face, and it's suffocating me. And I'll never forget, it was kind of Sergeant Awasanya. And he's throwing these boxes over my face, and they're wet, and he's tightening them up on my face, and I can't breathe. But his hand is near my mouth, so I ain't gonna lie, I'll fight the shit out of him. I'll fight him. And he goes chaotic. I mean, he goes to punching me in the lip. I want to say he punched me in the face with the handcuff, because I have this split on my lip to this day. Where he punched me, man. You know, they have a thing where they wrap the handcuffs around their knuckles and stuff, or around the hand, and they come hitting you in the face with them. And so he splits my lip, and I'm pouring blood. I mean, it's pretty bad. All right. Okay.
Sorry, dude. I don't. So whoever it is extremely persistent. You know, you cons, man. You guys know how to get the job done. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's why I love you guys, man. You guys are persistent. Everybody's persistent. Everybody's got some stuff rolling. Okay, homeboy is possibly more than likely punching you in the face with a set of handcuffs. You had fought back. You bit this dude's fingers after he's like stuffing like dirty chonies in your mouth. What happens from there? Okay, what happens?
So this is the part where I'm laying curled up in the holding cage, and I can't move. They're telling me to give them the hamstring. Instead of giving the hamstrings, and I'm telling them I can't feel my legs. I cannot move.
Hold on. You said you were they were hammer strikes. They were asking. What were they asking you for?
For the hand restraints, for the handcuffs.
Oh,
handcuffs behind my back.
Oh, okay. So they wanted to unlock you.
Yeah, part of their policy is they can't leave you in the cell like that or in the cage like that. They got to get their hamstring.
Okay.
So they're telling me to stand up and give them the I stand up, and they just continue to dump the gas on me. Just can after can after can. And but I got from there. So when I come through, I'm in a different part of the prison, and they call it 12 building. It's where they have all the SIG inmates, and sometimes they put PhD inmates over there with 11 buildings is full. So I'm on 12 building, and when I come through, I'm on the floor in the cell, and there's an officer outside the door keeping watch. Like I'm on CDO. CDO is what they call it when you threaten to harm yourself with them, that you're going to kill yourself, or you're going to hang yourself, or cut yourself. They put you on CDO as self-harms, where they keep an officer outside your door to watch to make sure that you don't harm yourself. Mm-hmm. So they have this type of surveillance. When I got feeling back in my lower extremities now, I can move a little bit, I can stand up, but I'm like Bambi, man. I'm wobbly. My legs are wobbly. Mm-hmm. And I stand up, and the officer's at the door, and I'm still bleeding. I'm cut everywhere. I'm messed up, and I'm telling, hey, I need medical attention. I need to see the nurse. I need to go to the infirmary. And they don't do it. When I couldn't stand up when I was in the good holding case, I'm telling them too, man, I need medical attention, man. I can't move. But they ignored it. And then when they get me to this other part of the building, I'm telling them again, hey, man, I'm messed up. I need medical attention. And they ignored me. That night went by. The next morning, I want to say, an officer, he comes to get me. Officer Holmes was his name. He comes to get me, and he tells me that he's going to take me to medical. So they take me to the back part of 12 building, and I just remember sitting on a table, and I'm thirsty, and I ask him for something to drink, and it's a lieutenant. His name is in my paperwork. I can't remember off the bat, but his name is listed in the lawsuit that I have now in the federal court. And I remember him sitting on this table, and it's me and him, there's a couple of officers around. And he gives me something to drink, and I drink it. I remember it's a bitter taste. It's nasty. I'm like, man, what is that? And he kind of shrugs his shoulder like, I don't know, don't worry about it. And he punches me in the face.
The doctor punches you in the face?
No, the lieutenant.
Oh,
no, they make it like they're going to take me to get some medical attention or something like that. The way they framed it, or the way they made me feel, is like they were going to ship me out to the hospital, which they were, but it wasn't like I was thinking. I'm thinking they're going to transport me to the hospital in town or something like that, because I messed up pretty bad. So he gives me something to drink, and he punches me in the face. I remember seeing his handcuff, and after that, I wake up in the hospital, handcuffed to the bed, and I'm fighting for my life. Now, what transpired between that and between getting the drink, getting punched in the face, all I know is what the OIG told me. I don't know what he did when he punched me in the face. I guess he knocked me out. But on video, at the investigative general scene, they said that they left me in a holding cell for 2 days with no food or water. So I'm imagining after you get...
Hold on. It just broke up. Okay, so you were saying something like they left you in the holding cell for 2 days, and then what?
Okay, this is the part that I really have no recollection about. All this comes from the Office of Investigator General, the OIG, the Black Shirts, the state police, the police for Greg Abbott for the government. He fills me in on this part. He said that I was, and this is what TDCJ and UTMB is really going to get in trouble for. He said they left me in a holding cell, like lifeless, on the ground for 2 days with no food or water, no medical attention. The cameras showed us, like, this is what happened. I don't remember any of it. All I remember was waking up in the hospital in Thailand. But between the punch in the face, between the drink and the punch in the face, transpired was I was in the holding cell again. They took me back to the holding cell. They left me there for 2 days for food and water. Then I was LifeFlighted. I was put in the back of an ambulance, taken to the Palestine Regional Medical Facility. And from there, I was LifeFlighted to Tyler. Where in between there and Tyler, or when I got to Tyler, they told my sister that I coded 4 times. Like they had to resuscitate me 4 different times. And when I came to, I'm in the hospital bed, surrounded by guards and medical staff. I'm on life support. So I got tubes all down my throat, all that stuff, and I'm shackled to my waist to the bed when I come to.
Now, first of all, do you happen to know your case ID of the lawsuit off the top of your head by chance? If not, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I got it all right here with me.
Okay, let's get that on the record real quick. What is that case number of a lawsuit that you have against the TDCJ?
It's civil action number 1.22-CV-586.
Okay. Now, let's go over real quickly while we have this on the record. Let's go over the injuries that were sustained. I remember when you were writing me that the injuries are just out of this world. What was the final? I mean, they literally tried to kill you. I mean, there's no other. What I want to do is I want to recap the injuries that were sustained, because I know from our talks together that the injuries were very, very bad. You were messed up. You were literally left to die. What it appears to me from when I was reading this and hearing about this is that you were left for dead. They were essentially trying to get you to die. And you got heart the size of a freaking buffalo, and you somehow were able to survive to be able to tell this incredible story. Tell me some of the injuries. Tell me what injuries you sustained. Tell me the long-term effects of these things, what it's done to your life, to just change your life from that moment.
Oh, man, Jason, I'm in pain every day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm in pain every day. You never get used to it, but you learn to live with it. I sustained an injury to my front temporal lobe, where I had swelling brain and whatnot. And when I came to, I was blind. I couldn't see. I thought about it. I need cornea transplant for my eyes. Like, I wear glasses now. Before that, I was the only person in my family who did not wear glasses. They broke my orbital socket on my right side. I have a scar there. It's very visible. You look at me, you can see it. My nose is broken. Of course, I'll tell you about when they split my lip with the punch with the handcuffs and all that stuff. And my heart had given out. I had only 20% of my heart. I only had 20% of my heart was functioning. And that's one of the reasons why I ended up in hospital, because the medical staff, the doctors and stuff, they couldn't do any surgery on me because my heart was too weak. If they put me to sleep, I wouldn't wake up, is what I was told. I had an acute kidney injury that I was placed on dialysis. And of course, as I was stated, I couldn't walk.
Okay. The last thing I caught on that was walking. You just have a hard time, or you couldn't walk. It's the list of injuries. I mean, it's almost like. Let me put it like this: do you suffer PTSD from this?
Oh, of course, man. Like I jump when I hear loud sounds. Sometimes I can just be sitting here and the sense of fear come over me. Like something's going to happen, whether I'm imagining it or it's real. sometimes I never know. I just get that good. I officer look at me a certain way. I think that it's going to go down and stuff like that.
So it's
like for the longest, they couldn't give me
Go ahead.
I would say for the longest, they couldn't even give me any cellies. Like I couldn't have a cellmate for the longest because I'd wig out. I was back on that ABK. He became my friend. It was me against the world. Everybody had to get me. At one point in time, it was like people used to think that I was crazy because I was like, man, the officers and inmates are trying to kill me. But at the end of the day, it turned out to be true.
Now, on this particular incident, is there anything? I'm just trying to focus on this incident because I think we have a lot we can talk about. But for this, to get this one completely documented, audio-wise, is there anything else that you think that that needs to be said, that needs to be brought out into this? Now, how many people are in this lawsuit that you have against the TDCJ, and have you named these the individuals are unnamed, or is it TDCJ in a group?
Well, the OIG pretty much gave me the blueprint on how to go about the lawsuit. He told me to get a hold of my people and have them get a hold to an outside source, like a law agency or something. And he said the basis or the grounds of the lawsuit is going to be this, that I was a ward of the state. Like I'm state property, in other words. So everything that happened to me is their fault. Being a ward of state, that's state property. That was by the level of protection. We're going to get in trouble for the excessive use of force, all the punching and kicking. What they're going to get in trouble for, or what they're liable for, is to leave me in the holding cell for 2 days with no food and water and no medical attention. To cover up. Because what they tried to say is that I threatened self-harm and that I tried to commit suicide by a drug overdose. But when my family came to see me in the hospital in Thailand, my sister went ballistic because she was like, I told me this is a drug overdose. This ain't no effing drug overdose. He's all beat up. Look at him. And this is my sister Tasha, the one who corresponded with a couple of times. When she seen me, she went crazy and she was like, nah, this ain't no drug overdose. Look at him. He's all beat up. You know, I was underweight, malnutrition from not being fed for weeks on end and things of that nature. And that's mainly what they're on the hook for. Not the starvation, you know what I mean? Not the tapping with my food. Not the days that, you know, they harassed me and did all kinds of big things to make my life hard. But to cover up and stuff. But try to cover all this stuff up. I make it like I did it to myself, like with some self-inflicted harm. And that's what the beauty what the thing shows is that I tried to cover this up. Like what it happened is y'all on the hook for it. Y'all responsible for it.
Yeah, and, you know, I would find it very, very suspicious if something happened to you at this point. Like, if you were to die of mysterious circumstances, I think all the suspects would be the people involved in this lawsuit, because obviously at this point, if they're willing to cover up what they're willing to cover up, I mean, what's another body in the scheme of the little land that they control? And so have you talked to anybody that can basically say that these guys that are all named in this lawsuit aren't going to come and, you know, drop some poison in your food or do anything like that? What are your thoughts with that?
Well, this is what's crazy. When I was forced to sign the hospice papers, when the medical was like, hey, there's nothing else we can do for you. Your heart's too weak for us to operate on. They took me off of dialysis so that I could die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, technically, on paper or in the computers, I'm a dialysis patient. You know, just Yahweh found favor in me and allowed my kidneys and stuff to start back working on their own. But they took me off of dialysis. They just stopped treating me on dialysis so that I couldn't, to let me die. But when I signed the DNR paper to be placed on hospice, they sent me back to the.
You said they sent you. Okay, you said they sent you back to where?
they sent me back to the microsuit because not only was I housed as an inmate, but it also is one of 2 facilities in the area that house hospitals. So they're placed on hospital and having to live in the infirmary in the hospital. This was the one in the reason. So they sent me back to the very people who caused my injuries, who took my life. Because I told it 4 times. In between there and Mother Francis of Tyler. So they sent me back to these very people who did this to me. And so while I'm on hospital, everybody's coming to see me. All the officers that were involved, the wardens, maids and stuff like that. Because now that I've survived, they're trying to see what all I know. And at this point in time, I can't remember that because of the brain injury and all the blackouts. I can't remember nothing, bro. And it's crazy because a lot of the officers who were in the lawsuit, if they would have just left me the hell alone and stopped coming back to see me and telling me what they did and didn't do during the use of force, I wouldn't have a lot of their names. So I'm back on hospice in the infirmary, and they're coming pretty much trying to plead their case like, I didn't have nothing to do with it. And they always try to stick to the same storyline. Like, well, after a certain amount of time when I seen that we couldn't get you because you were fighting so hard, I left. And other officers came. And each one was sticking to the storyline. So I started to feel character. And some of the officers, I didn't even know they were there, man. But they would say something, and it would trigger off a memory, and their voice would come back to, it would trigger some of my memory to where I remember the use of force. They have certain stuff, and the presence being there, their voice, and my memory slowly started coming back. You had a couple of officers who were jerks who would come back there like, yeah, we kicked your ass, and yeah, you should die, and stuff like that. But the majority of them, they were really there for their freedom, and pretty much they were in because of survived. Like a lot of them were telling me like, man, there's no way you should have survived. And then Michael, he answered the guy that was born and raised out of who some of these officers. Like some of these officers, I go to their house and go to the prison. They're my officers I grew up with. I go to school with, I go to school with, and they like that. Some of them I know from other years. And so, not all of them were bad. Some of them were some birds that be like, man, we don't know how you survived, no, how you still alive, stuff like that. And then I had a couple of officers who came and hey, look, man, if you want me to testify, I got you, man. This is kind of called workers and get that, hey, man, they did you wrong. What happened wrong, man. You know, I'm here for you. I'll give a statement. I'll give testimony. And then you had the host who just, they were assholes, man. They were clicks. Yeah, we should have died. Yeah, it was bad. So just thank you.
All right, let's wrap this up. I need to clean up this audio on this thing. What I'd like to ask everybody on the last little bit, if there's one thing that you can just reach out and I guess give the world as a piece of information, a piece of wisdom, something that you can leave us with. What do you got for us from the mouth of Junior Reed, Rueben Reed Jr., homeboy, locked away for a very long time? What do you got for all of us out here in the world?
It has to be what I'm here for. It's to prove that Yahweh is real. One thing is simple, man. I'm proof that Yahweh is real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, my brother, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for getting a hold of me. Thank you for being on this
1 minute left.
Being on this podcast with Behind the Bars. And to everybody out there, guys, I will leave Ruben's contact information in the description below. You guys can download the Securus app. You guys can write him. He is an amazing individual. I'm sure he would absolutely write you back, and I'm sure he would love the support. So for all of us out there and Behind the Bars, Ruben, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Until next time, much love.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Peace.